basically the same without the egg. Same but without the pig pork chops. Pork but tonkatsu style,
breaded and fried.
White fish, like fish and chips. Hamburgers, fries, and baguettes.
I wasn't expecting them to have hamburgers.
And salads.
And that's really liberating to not think of an end result of fitting into. So this all electronic music is so compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And having this freedom of just being completely atheistic about
I had a friend
genre.
asking me, how's it going? And the only thing that I could write out was 160 BPM.
Yeah. And the C tonic,
What else
tonic, and that was it.
can you say?
Yeah.
Lots of dynamics.
We weren't like trampling on each other from that.
I think everybody's having its own space.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't feel, already.
Yeah. I don't mean like there's a problem. I mean like that's like the thing that we work collectively towards.
Sure.
Refining is just a stunning space.
Yeah.
It just came about very organically. Monday, when we started playing, we didn't even do a formal start. Just there was sound, like we were testing stuff, and then we just all were playing at a certain point, and I don't know, it just worked together. We didn't need to, we didn't feel the need to tell everyone like, oh, you should be doing something more like this, or let's follow such and such structure. It just went well, I think. Developed organically.
There's very little variance in control and organization as far as the way that those signals are structured. Between even Simão is just has a computer, and we find it very easy to interface that directly with the instruments. I mean, Andre and I probably have the closest approach, but it's still quite different.
I think when you listen, you understand where the others are going.
It's like a conversation.
It is only a conversation,
That's why what conducts us is our ears, mainly, more than anything else, I believe.
Well, I think we found something common before we met each other. That's the...
I agree.
We were all drawn to the same commonality, I think is the commonality. We were all drawn to this methodology of working with cables and with structure and with, assembly of sound in this very abstract, concrete sense, instead of it being so linear of scoring and writing. We're thinking more systems. We're thinking more, organization as the form of music than, like the physical structure of music is being delineated by the way that we approach it. So that's an unusual way of looking at music, I think. It's not as simple as picking up a guitar and you strum. This is like you have to prepare something before sound can come out. You have to at least understand music at an atomic level, electronic music, before you can even really start. So we were all drawn to that phenomenology, I guess you could call it, and then we all have chosen our instruments and the ways we realize this way of thinking completely in different ways, And then but the original way of thinking about the structure of sound is what brings us together as a common unit. I think that's really a nice thing, where with this very left of center way of looking at music itself, having a structure, but then finding ways to bend the structure while playing. It's like before you get exactly. Before you get the oomph of the sound, you just get you're familiar with the syncopation. important.
It's interesting that you use the word phenomenology.
Well, it's kind of like this when you think about it. It's
Are there ghosts in these machines?
I think so. Yeah,
They have their own life.
No, there are absolutely incalculable things about circuits. There's a lot of things that are. I mean, I hesitate to say magic, but it's.
I find a bit magic when you think that you are creating music and harmonies and melodies by modulating frequencies, electronic. This is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea about electronic but it's the idea of that you have a wave and you start to modulate to create something that's like drawing, or it's like magical, yes.
We have carte blanche as far as how we stage it in the space, I think. So
Yeah.
we're all going for this in the center, setting up in this egalitarian way with the audience around it. I think that's that seems the most ideal. Yeah.
We're given freedom
Yeah.
to stage as we like,
Yeah.
only if it's not possible.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
We have all
Yeah.
the freedom in the world with this project.
André and I have met. I was here after Semi-Brev. I came to Lisbon.
So you're a client.
I'm a client and a fan, right? What's the word? Friend and a follower. So yeah, no, André was very nice last year after Semi-Brev. I came here and I stayed in a Airbnb not far away, and he let me work here and hang out, and I just was obsessed with all the ADDAC, stuff for years. So that was nice. It was a nice surprise when this all came together and it was possible for André. And then these two are the most natural choices, I think, for this to happen in the way that it has.
There was an invitation, and we four said yes.
piece, and is there a title to it already? Have you guys talked about it?
That happens when firm decisions are made. Yeah, I think afterwards for the performance, definitely, because at this point it's completely free of context. You know, we're not even. I mean, do you think that James Joyce had a title for Ulysses beforehand? No, of course not. He wrote.
So you prefer to write the book first and then think about the title
of course,
afterwards?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, how do you contextualize freedom? It's like in this way. It's hard, You'd just be reining it in, lessening the possibilities,
That's not a bad way of doing things.
Oh, no, I'm not saying it's a bad. I'm saying as far as we've come. In 3 days.
It doesn't make any sense for what we're doing here. Like I'm trying to make a word that's pre-contextualized with a title. I think that's how I usually work.
Okay, yeah.
I try to have a concept first and then fill it in.
Actually, now that I think about it, back when I was doing this, like more of the beat stuff and Hrvatsky and all that, I would always have a title, like a compilation of titles.
Yeah.
That I just like shapes of words and this kind of thing, and then if I was completely at a loss to leave something untitled, I would map, some meaning onto it. But it was always completely discrete, It never was like the same. Like I had this phrase in my mind the whole time while executing something. So, context. I mean, like concepts in this way, they're a bit of a trap, I think.
Here it would be very limitative.
Here definitely.
There's things you do drawing or working.
Because there was no plan. If I had a plan, maybe there could be some idea, but without plan.
I also came here on Monday, and I had to put the machines, and we just sat and nobody talked, and we just there's some sounds. I'm going, let's follow it. It's
it was a line check that carried on.
Basically.
I think we're still in the line check right now. Yeah.
will something palpable come out of this experience? I mean, like a record, for instance? Are you planning anything?
So, how many hours so far? Like, so see, a record, the CD is 80 minutes, so it's 2.5 CDs.
Like a Roland Kane box, for
like
instance?
this. Well, that would be, I mean,
10 CDs.
Yeah. It's an interesting experiment, though. How do you launch a new project with like an abundance of material? You know, it's always like a real trust thing. Yeah. All the Miles Davisons were two LPs. They were like, so that's an hour. You know?
Yeah. So
you know, an hour for us is like one idea. You know, that's like you just get started. And it's been an hour. Okay, that's been an hour. Now we'll change to the next one. So, and our performance is like an hour, I think.
That's right,
45 minutes.
So we're thinking now it's
45?
interesting. Yeah, 45. So
50.
for all the ground we've covered in the last 3 days, we have to now distill it. Yeah. Well, what is releasing music at this point? That's what's really interesting. Will it have a lifespan outside of the concert? Absolutely, no question. There'll be some other version of way to listen to it in non-real time. What is that? What form does that take these days? I mean, I guess this is a whole separate conversation about
45 minutes. It could
concept
be
of
tape.
A tape.
Oh, so it has to be something physical. It can't just be YouTube.
Digital?
You know, it's just like I feel like that has more power. Something like YouTube has more power than a commercial release for most music because it's just completely. There's no risk. You know, there's no. I like this. I mean, I've been thinking a lot recently more about the nature of commercial music and what it means to issue something. The term issue is really problematic. I think it's you share it with the world, you share it, you put it on YouTube, it's sharing it. You issue something, it means commercially you charge money for it. There's got to be some middle ground here between these two things that gives you the populism of issuing something, of letting it be just completely free, and then also being able to justify our time to spend a week here to do this. I mean, it's like without the concert, there's no this, you know.
Isn't it? Couldn't the same case be argued about VSTs and these boxes?
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah. There have to be people buying them. There have to be people interested in Andre's emotional and technical labor, you know, to buy them. I mean, without the end result, there's no office, you know. So we are maybe uncomfortably in bed with capitalism to some extent, you know? But it doesn't drive our decisions.